Dear students, in this video we are going to discuss about fertilization in angiosperm plants. Step number 1, pollen grain landed on the stigma. Here there are two types of the landing of pollen grains. Around 60% of the angiosperm plants, when pollen grain landed on the stigma, it has only two cells. What are the two cells? Remember, one of vegetative cell, other one is a generative cells. That's all. In another 40% of the angiosperm plants, pollen landed on at 3 cell stage, means one vegetative cells, whereas one generative cells undergo mitotic division to form the two more cells, that means two male gametes. So totally one vegetative cells, then two male gametes, we call it as 3 cell stage. Now come to the other point. The second stage, once the pistil and the pollen interaction is successfully done, now pollen germinates. Then pollen tube started growing on the style of the pistil. When it's moving, growth is going one side, other side both the male gametes are moving towards the embryo sac of the ovule. Now pollen tube enter into the micropolar end of the ovule. At that time the first male gametes enter into the embryo sac. This phenomenon is assisted by, that means pollen tube entry as well as male gamete entry assisted by there is a special apparatus present in the synergies, what we call it as filiform apparatus. Now the first male gamete comes together of the middle cells, that is egg cell, and fuses. That fusion, what we call it as syngamy. Once the syngamy is over, the product is called zygote. Further the zygote develop into embryo. Now the second male gamete is coming up again. Now it is followed and going into the embryo sac and fuse with the polar nuclei. That means what? Already there is a bigger cells with two nuclei called the polar nuclei. Now the third nuclei come from the male gamete sites. All the three nuclei are going to be fused. What we call it a tubal fusion. Once the fusion is over, this is called primary endosperm nucleus. Then it turns into primary endosperm cell. Later on, this undergo rapid division to form the enormous amount of endosperms. This endosperms is going to supply the nutrients for the growing zygote or embryo, whatever it is. Now, this whole process are taking in two stages. The stage 1 is what? First male gamete fuses with the egg. What we call as first fertilization. The second male gamete fuses with the triple fusion with the polar nuclei. That is called second fertilization, triple fusion. So ultimately we call that angiosperm fertilization is said to be double fertilization, triple fusion.